you watched one of my earlier videos, I'm going to be doing a couple of paintings for a fantastic charity in Wilmington, North Carolina called Good Shepard. I've just written down 2 or 3 2x4s, and I'm going to start making some frames. I'm going to make at least two frames for that charity, and if I can make 3, then I'll certainly do that as well. But that's kind of the goal right now. I won't bore you with cutting all the wood and putting the frames together, but I'll come back to you when I got the frames done, and we'll stretch some canvas on that as well. So a lot to do. I've got about 2 months or so to kind of create these, which I'll get done before that. And I want to kind of get these done because then, as I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I also want to start a saltwater series. So I want to get these out of the way, get them good to where I like them, and then I'm going to start the saltwater series in a couple of weeks. So more to come, but that's kind of where we are right now. And then obviously I'll take you through the journey of putting both of these paintings together as we go. So, all right, so we made one frame. All I did was pretty simple. Just basically cut each of the ripped 2x4s in half. So get a full, perfectly square frame out of just one 2x4. And that's a good way to do it, where you can, really kind of be cost conscious and try to get the best for your money. So this is very durable, very strong. The other thing that I typically do, I haven't mentioned before, is that because I make the frames as strong as they are, I rarely provide any kind of hanging, hanging tools or materials, I guess, if you will, because realistically, as sturdy as this is, you put screws into your wall, they'll hang directly from the top here without any kind of bending over time and everything else. So it actually works out really well. All right, so I've got a 4x4 canvas that I just put together, stretched, and then just put some gesso on it. So I've got 2 that I'm going to do this size, actually for the charity online event in a few months that I mentioned in a previous video. So I'm going to do this as more of a time lapse. So I'm starting today, and then you'll see kind of how this progresses over the next several days. So this is where I'm kind of just starting to put things onto the canvas, not a lot of structure. This is really just something that, you when you get started, you just really think of some base colors, not a lot of structure in terms of design or any kind of texture typically is what I do. So again, this is just kind of moving forward and getting some thoughts on the canvas, and then beginning to start take shape. And right there you can see I just started putting some throwing some paint on the canvas, and then just continue to build upon that over the next several iterations. So now I'm going to put some cleaner wax on here, and let's see what happens. I'm not sure actually what's going to happen quite yet. It's pretty old, but we'll see. That's kind of nasty. Let's see what happens to it. So I've kind of sped up some of these next few slides, if you will, or different shots from the canvas kind of coming together. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, but you can see here that just continue to progress. Now the idea is starting to come to me in terms of this design, where I started getting the sense of something that could be more or less of a visualization of a heartbeat
So, that's where the red lines are coming into play. And so after putting some texture on it, you can see that the texture is really starting to kind of pop off of the canvas, which is pretty cool. A couple of different shots there. And then when, zooming out, it really is starting to take shape. And as you know, I do like using a lot of texture. That's wallboard cement, or it's a heavier version of just kind of your normal spackling compound. And then here, using some additional chemicals, this is gunk, which is a pretty strong chemical. Putting it on some fresh paint there, it really started to react, which is pretty neat. The paint started running together, and I actually went back to the canvas to do some of the additional painting on it. So here we're going and just putting some additional more detailed touches on the painting, I think, is a good way to put it. You can see I've kind of progressed quite a bit from the last set of shots. There's a lot more depth and a lot more texture there, but just continue to work on some of that. And really what I'm doing here is just kind of building on the red, the heartbeat component of this painting. So putting some additional brighter reds on it, deeper reds. I'm putting some darker hues kind of on the outside, just to accentuate a little bit in terms of the definition of kind of that kind of abstract view of a heartbeat.
All right, so we're about halfway done with this painting. As I mentioned before, this is 4 by 4 feet by 4 feet. This is one that's going to be used in a charity online auction in May this year. And this is one that is, I want to do 2 of these for the online auction. The charity is called Good Shepard and located here in Wilmington, North Carolina. But I'm pretty pleased with the progress so far. If you've been tracking along, I've used a couple of different chemical additives to this particular painting, and I've had some pretty neat results. Nothing that has damaged the canvas or anything of that nature yet, which is good. But I've got probably 2 more full days to work on this and finish it up. And I'll go on this side so you can see kind of the other side of it. But I'm pretty pleased with it. It's pretty cool. It's got a lot of layers, a lot of different textures to it. I put some more or less kind of wall compound, spackling compound in some different areas here. Some of the chemicals that I used kind of ran a lot of the paint, and where the paint was starting to kind of almost blend in with itself, which was pretty cool. But so far so good. So I've got, like I mentioned, probably about 2 days left in this, and then hopefully this one will be done, and then it's going to go to an online auction for just a fantastic charity here in North Carolina. So I'll come back when I'm either 3/4 of the way done or done, and kind of walk you through the whole process.
So I'm zooming in here, just kind of looking at the a little bit lower level of the painting itself, and you can kind of just see the different textures. And here I'm just adding some additional kind of lighter colors, again, just to try to bring out some of that red from the heartbeat again, but not too terribly much. Here I'm using acetone, which was pretty neat. I didn't know what to expect there, but I put quite a bit on there and just started throwing it at the canvas, which was cool. It did start kind of reacting a little bit, but didn't have a ton of impact to it, but it did have a pretty neat reaction. And here you can just see, again, just different angles of kind of the textures, of how everything's starting to kind of come together. Pretty neat, and I really like how the light kind of reflects off some of those larger chunks of that wallboard cement that I put on there.
All right, well, I think we're done. I feel good about the painting. It's got a lot of things going on in it. Used a couple of different chemicals that I talked about earlier. Added another one. I think I put quite a bit of acetone on it, on wet paint. And it did a little bit, didn't do too terribly much, but it didn't eat away at anything, so that's good as well. But yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with it. I think it turned out good. So this is going to be the first painting that I mentioned is going to be put on the online auction in another month or so for the Good Shepard charity in Wilmington, North Carolina. So I think what's left to do with this is once it dries a little bit, I'm going to put a layer of lacquer on it just to kind of protect it a little bit. Sign it, obviously, bottom right in red, as I always do. And then we'll move on to the next one. So join me for that pretty fun journey, I hope.